Hi, I'm Michal. Welcome to another Sigma app walkthrough video. This app was super fun to build and it shows a really cool workflow, so I'm excited to show it to you. This is an event booking app for the Tasty Bites food trucks where customers can come in and book events and the vendors can come in and approve, create invoices, etc. So coming in as a customer, I first want to see pricing and availability. So I can see the information of some of the fine print here, and I can choose my menu type, an event date. Let's go April 4th, and the location. So I'm, let's say, in New York City, and I'll have about 90 guests, 95 guests at my event. And you can see as I adjust some of this data, the prices at the bottom change. And here I have my final invoice price, which is calculated by price per guest, how many guests there are, plus the 10% service fee. I can now check the availability of this menu type or this truck on this date in this location. I can enter my event name. And I can book it. So now I can go into my bookings. I can navigate to April, and I see on April 1st, we had the April Fool's Late celebration. I can also see my list of events. Generally, a customer probably won't have this many events, but I'm showing a lot now for the demo. We can find April Fool's Late celebration, and again, we can see the details. We can also check the invoice. Right now, the invoice is not ready, so I can close. I can also cancel my booking. I'm not going to do that now. Let's look at one that has an invoice available. Baby Shower Bites looks like it has an invoice available, so let me view this invoice. And here we can see the customer information, the vendor information, the booking details, and the price breakdown. I can also book an event straight from the Book an Event button, where I can enter the event name, a date, a menu type, location, number of guests, and I can view the quote, which automatically populates those options. And here I can check the availability again and book. Now, as a vendor, I can log into the vendor portal. I am not actually a vendor, so I will get this error. However, for the demo, we can proceed. And here we have the same calendar view, except this time we can see the event status. So let's open up a submitted event, night market series. Now I could look at all of these details, and if I'm happy with this, I can generate the invoice. I can confirm the invoice information when I'm looking at it, and I can also come in and confirm the booking. And that will change the status from submitted to confirmed and awaiting payment. I can view the invoice that was created, and I can also mark this as paid. And that changes the booking status again to confirmed and paid. And you can see that the color changes as well. I can also look at the list view of all the events, and this time it's grouped by the order status. I can also view the invoices that are available, and I can open up an event and generate the invoice. Let's take a look at how this works behind the scenes. So all of this is based on one main input table, which is the orders table that has all of the order information that's saved in it. There are a couple of other tables as well. We have our order statuses, our invoice statuses. These are lookup tables just for the status names. We have our actual menu information. We have a date dimension table in order to create that calendar view. We have information about our truck and franchise, and we have some additional tables that are specifically created in order to update that invoice information. On the welcome screen, this is set up as a tabbed container, so I can go to the customer portal, and that is still on the welcome screen, just switching to a different tab. Franchise portal is the same. Each one of these also has a tabbed container for the calendar view or the list view. If we go back to the pricing and availability, we see that this opens a modal for pricing. Based on these controls, different things are calculated. So for example, if I select a date and a location and a menu type, you can see that I have some hidden columns here where I have number per person, which is the average amount that a person will eat of a beverage or a main. And using that, we calculate the price per guest. And then based on the number of guests, we can calculate the total menu price then add on a 10% service fee for the final invoice price. If the total menu price is less than $1,200, then you see the final invoice price will always be a minimum of $1,200 as stated in the minimum booking fee. And this is calculated. Once you hit book, that's going to create an additional row in the orders table. When we go to our vendor login and we look at a specific event, these buttons are also in a tabbed container depending on the status of the invoice. So if the status is submitted, then you're going to see the submitted buttons, which include the generate invoice, confirm booking, cancel booking. If the status is confirmed and unpaid, then you'll see the view invoice and the mark is paid, etc. Now the generate invoice opens the invoice modal and it also gives an invoice date. That's how we know if an invoice was generated or not. Confirming the booking also just creates an update and it updates the row in the orders table. I'm clicking these buttons, but I don't have permissions on the draft mode to create edits, so that's why it's showing these errors. But in the publish mode, you see that it does work. I can also cancel the booking from here. And again, that just opens the cancel modal. So that's the basics of how this works. There's a lot more functionality that you can add in here. For example, adding a place in the booking to add a promo code or a voucher code to get some kind of discount. In addition, looking at the vendor view event information, if there was a button in here or a field in here to add a vendor supplied discount or something like that, that would be super helpful as well. Adding in notes in the booking tab for if the customer has specific notes or requests, or a back and forth between the customers and the vendors, that would be a pretty cool addition as well. I hope you enjoyed this app. I'm looking forward to creating more.